Hello everyone, welcome back to Everything Swift. Today we'll be tackling Leetcode question 252 titled Meeting Rooms. We're given a nested integer array here named intervals that's representing the time of the meetings, of the starting and the ending time of each meeting. And we're supposed to figure out whether this person can attend all the meetings, right? So this example here is pretty good. So let's take a look at this. So 0 to 30 is basically the first meeting that starts from time 0 and ends at time 30. And then the other meeting is starting at time 5 and ends at time 10. And the third meeting is basically starting at time 15 and end at time 20. So given this nested array here, we're supposed to figure out whether this person can attend all three meetings in this example here. The answer is false here. So let's figure out why this is false, right? How did we arrive as false as the answer? So basically, the strategy to arrive at this output here, this answer here, is basically sort of like figuring out like what is the ending time for each meeting, right? And then we're just supposed to figure out whether that ending time exceeds or is bigger than the starting time of the next meeting, right? So for example, in this example here, it starts at meeting 0, right? But it ends at 30. And then the second meeting is starting at 5 and ends at 10. So imagine you attended the first meeting, which is 0. That's the earliest meeting, right? As we can see, 0, 5, and 15. 0 comes first, so you attend this particular meeting, right? And it only ends at 30, right? But the second meeting actually starts at time 5. While this meeting is kickstarted at 5, you are still in this first meeting because it only ends at 30, right? So you cannot attend all the meetings, right? In fact, you can't even attend the third meeting because once this meeting ends at time 10, the third meeting starts at 15. You are still stuck in the first meeting because it ends at 30. So even when the third meeting ends at 20, you're basically still in the first meeting, right? So basically, the approach here, the strategy or the thought process to solve this thing is basically just kind of like check. We're going to iterate through the intervals array, and we're going to compare with the previous meeting of the ending time and compare it with the starting time of the current meeting. If it exceeds or is bigger than that, that means that we cannot attend because we're still in that particular meeting, right? So let's jump straight into the code and see how we're going to do this. So I'm just going to check, as always, if intervals is empty, there's nothing for us to do. So I guess we can just return true here. Not sure what is the base case if it's empty. Usually in Leetcode, unless it's specified, we probably don't have to do this, but it's just a habit of mine in production cases. This is sort of like a good practice, like we exit the function scope as fast as possible. So, so in this example here, it's relatively is sorted based on the starting time, as you can see, like 0, 5, 15, and here in this example here is 72. So I'm not sure what is the sorted order when we are given this parameter here. So what I'm going to do is basically sort this array to the ending time. So I'm just going to print out the intervals first and see how is it sorted after that. So I'm just going to do this sorted intervals sorted 0 less than 1, right? I'm going to sort it by the ending time. So I'm just going to print this out so that you guys can see what happened after we sorted it. Because I don't know what's the order of it, right? Like in this example, it's like starting with 7 and then 2, but then this one seems to be ascending from the beginning time slot 0, 5, 15, and the ending time seems to be descending, but then this one is descending for both, so I'm not too sure. So let me see here. What we're going to do is definitely we have to look through. So intervals.count, and we have to do here is basically, like we said, we're going to check for the, sorry, this should be sorted, right? We're going to use this one. So basically, we're supposed to check the last ending time slot with the current time slot. So that's why we're starting from 1. So if you want to get the last time slot, basically, we're just going to call this previous end, sorted I minus 1, and we're going to take the ending time, right? So it's an index 1, and compare it with the starting time, which is current start, sorted I of 0. So whenever any of these uh, interval while we're looping, we're basically just going to check at every iteration. If brief end is bigger than current start, basically we can return false, because it means that we're still in that particular meeting, in the previous meeting, rather than the or newly started meeting, right? So over here we can just return true, because if this condition here is not catched, basically we could attend all the meeting, right? Because in any scenario that we can't attend the new meeting, the newly set up meeting or newly ongoing meeting, we would have caught it in this iteration here. So basically the time complexity, because we sort it here, it will be O log n time, and the space complexity for Swift it will be probably O of n, because we have to sort these intervals and store this here. But I think like in other languages, like if you can manipulate this parameter directly, it will be O of 1. So it really depends on, I guess, the interviewer, because I think like we can do O of 1 if the interviewer realize like it's sort of like a Swift kind of thing, that if we want to manipulate this parameter here, we don't have a choice. We have to create a constant or variable, unless they allow it to be like this. Then I guess we can go ahead and manipulate it directly, because this would mean the parameter is a variable. But yeah, so basically to sum it up, the time complexity for this should be O of 1, but because of Swift we can't manipulate this directly, and we are doing the sorting to store all the values here, so it will be O of n, and the time complexity will be O log n, because we are doing the sorting. So let's go ahead and run this and see, hopefully we get it right on the first attempt. There we go. So I printed this out so that you guys can see intervals 0, 30, and then after we sort it, we get 5 and 10. So the only reason why I did the sorting is also because I don't know what kind of order that I'm going to get the arrangement of the parameter. So by doing this, I sort of like know that what kind of array that I'm going to deal with. So yeah, so let's go ahead and submit this. And there we go, that is the solution for this question. So that's awesome. Yeah, so hopefully this video is good. You guys find this good and helpful. If you do, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. I'll be putting out more videos from here on now. So thank you very much. Take care and bye bye.